Hello guys, welcome back to Pool Consul's YouTube channel, and in this video we'll talk about impermanent loss. This video is the continuation of the first part that we talked about automated market makers and decentralized exchanges, and in here I'll try to explain you what impermanent loss is and what to do in order to minimize your losses and even to prevent it if possible. Just to be aware of it, that by when you provide liquidity in those pools, you are facing the risk of incurring impermanent loss. So with that out of the way, let's first understand what is impermanent loss. And impermanent loss happens when you provide liquidity to a liquidity pool and the price of your deposited assets changes compared to when you deposited them. The bigger this change is, the more you're exposed to impermanent loss. In this case, the loss means the dollar value at the time of withdrawal is less than at the time of deposit. And there are some pools that are less exposed to this impermanent loss, and those pools are those that contain a stable coin within them. For example, if we draw a pool and say our pool has BNB and cake, we have BNB and cake pool, and we provide liquidity into this pool by providing BNBs and cakes, we are exposed to impermanent loss. But if we have another pool that has, instead of BNB and cake, it might have like two stable coins like DAI and USDT, for example, then here this pool almost doesn't have any risk of running into impermanent loss. And that's why this pool will pay much less compared to the pool that is facing impermanent loss, because the higher the risk, the higher the expected return. That is the basics of economics. So with that out of the way, now let's take a look at the numerical example and understand how does this impermanent loss exactly work. Let's say again, we have our pool, for example, on Uniswap, wherever we can have this Ethereum and DAI pool. And this is a real pool. You can go to uniswap.com and you can find the pool wherever the assets are Ethereum and DAI, which is the stable coin on Ethereum network. And we have, for example, Alice, a girl, she wants to provide liquidity into this pool. She has 1 ETH. And let's imagine at the time of the deposit, Ethereum is being traded at $100, or 100 DAI, we should say. So the price is 100, And if she wants to provide 1 Ethereum, we remember that from the first part, we said that the deposited tokens, the token pair, it needs to be of equivalent value. It means that if she's providing a liquidity of 1 Ethereum, she must also provide liquidity of 100 DAI. Okay, so this is her liquidity that she provides into this pool. And let's suppose that because she's not alone, there are many other people who provide liquidity the same way she does. And let's suppose that the total liquidity in this pool is altogether we have, for example, 10 ETH in the pool provided by other liquidity providers, 10 ETH and 1,000 DAI. Okay, 1,000 DAI. This is the total amount of liquidity in the pool. So since Alice is providing only 1 ETH and 100 DAI, it means she takes the 10% share of the fees, right? She will get 10% of the fees accumulated in this pool. That's her profit, right? Because her investment equals 10% is 1/10 of the total amount of investment in this pool by the time of her investment. 10, 1,000, 100. So let's say, just remember this first, okay? 10%. She will get 10%. And now let's imagine that the price changes. Somehow happens that Ethereum starts to move, and let's say Ethereum 2.0 finally comes out, and Ethereum's price now is $400. 4 times it has risen. So it's being traded on centralized exchanges, or maybe in other pools on other DEXs. Ethereum is being traded at 400 DAI, whereas in our pool the price is still 100 DAI. Why? Because you know that there are no centralized authorities to control the price, or there are no order books, we should say. And as we described in the last video, the price is being derived by the ratio of the coins in the pools. Okay, so because there are 10 ETH and 1,000 DAI in the pool, so the price of 1 ETH in our pool is still equal to 100 DAI. But in the market, it is being traded at $400. Now, if you see this kind of a situation, what would you do? Well, I would say what I would do, I would buy ETH in this pool, and I would just take the ETH out and sell it in other places, let's say on Binance, because in Binance I can sell it for $400, and here is just 100 DAI. So the arbitrageurs, yeah, those people are arbitrage traders. They will come to this pool, they will buy ETH, and how do they buy ETH? Because it's only ETH and DAI, so they will provide DAI, and they will take out Ethereum from the pool, come in here, and then sell Ethereum on Binance for 400 DAI and make huge profits. So by the time goes on and more traders, arbitrageurs, I would say, join, the amount of DAI is increasing, and the amount of ETH is decreasing. So this process will continue up to the point where the new ratio of Ethereum and DAI in the pool reflect the real market price of them, meaning that 10 ETH will go down up to 5 ETH, yeah, and the amount of DAI in the pool would increase to 2,000. Okay, now we have 5 ETH and 2,000 DAI, which means that 1 ETH is equal to 2,000 divided by 5, 400. Yeah, and this is exactly the amount of the price of ETH in other exchanges. So now we have achieved this the balance, this condition where in our pool we have the same price as in other exchanges. But as we said, initially the product you remember from the first video is always unchanged. Yeah, if we multiply 10 by 1,000, we get 10K, right? And here again, the product is unchanged, 10K, so the liquidity didn't change. Whatever changed in the pool is that the ratio of Ethereum and DAI changed. Initially, we had 10 ETH, now we have 5 ETH. And since we have less ETH, the price of ETH is, the amount of ETH is twice less, so the price of it is twice higher. So 5 ETH is now equal to 2,000 DAI, but the total product is still 10K. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. So now we go back to Alice, and after some time, after she sees these changes, she says, okay, I want to cash out. And she has the right to cash out the 10%, right? 10%. And the 10% for now, 10% of 5 ETH is 0.5. And 10% of 2,000 is 200, right? Yeah. So she takes out 200 DAI and 0.5 ETH. Now, how much is 0.5? 0.5 ETH now is $200, yeah, and 200 DAI, so plus 200. So now she gets how much? 400 DAI. Now you would say, wow, she doubled up her money, because initially she had 1 ETH, and at the time of deposit, this ETH was equal to $100, 100 DAI, and also 100 DAI from here. So initial investment was 200, and now she got 400 DAI. She doubled up her money, right? Is she happy? Unfortunately, even though she doubled up her money, she's not happy, because just imagine what would happen if she didn't at all invest her assets into the pool. She had 1 ETH and 100 DAI, and 1 ETH is now worth 400 DAI, and also 100, so we plus 100, now we get 500. So she would be better off had she didn't invest at the pool at all. If she didn't invest in the pool, she would have now 500 DAI, whereas now she only has 400 DAI. So she ended up having less DAI than she would have had she didn't invest in the pool. So this is the idea of impermanent loss. And honestly, the situation could have been much worse if the Ethereum price tanked instead of going up. Because in this case, even though she could have earned more, but she's still up. Yeah, she just lost the opportunity cost, we would say. But if the price of it didn't go up and tanked instead, like became $25 instead of going up to 400, then she would be in trouble. So this is the impermanent loss, and and people face it whenever they provide liquidity in those pools. But sometimes, mostly trading fees are so high, they earn so much money. They are not only getting trading fees, but these pools also provide some tokens. For example, PancakeSwap provides you cake when you stake, and so in addition to those fees, you also get cake, and overall, all these benefits are more than the probable impermanent loss that you are facing. And after all, if you don't cash out, that's why it's called impermanent loss, because it's not permanent, it's not realized. If you don't cash out, you would never see it. You can change, you can wait until the price changes in a way that when you cash out, you don't take these losses from this idea called impermanent loss, because that's why it's impermanent. When you realize, when you cash out, only then you fix your income, and only then you see these changes have their impact on your portfolio. So that's all for today, guys. Hope it makes sense, and hope now you understand what is impermanent loss. And in the next videos, we'll continue the topic of, we'll try to talk about the yield farming and stuff like that. So with real examples. So stay tuned. If you like the video, smash the like button. You can subscribe to the video, and see you all in the next videos. Thank you and goodbye.